Heyo, welcome on back to Citizen Sleeper. Been a little bit since I last played this game, and fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, when I last played it, I got it via PlayStation Extra, which is PlayStation's version of Game Pass, if you don't know. But my PlayStation Plus ran out not terribly long ago, and I was like, man, I kind of want to get back to Citizen Sleeper because I think I still have a few quest lines to complete, and then also I would kind of want to do another playthrough and see like different options I might have had or might have missed out on. So yeah, very excited to be back to Citizen Sleeper. And the reason why I have it now is that, while don't get me wrong, Citizen Sleeper is well worth its very humble $20 price tag. I don't have a lot of money. I'm not a man very flush with cash. So I was like, I'll wait till it goes on sale. And honestly, like any sale, if it was $1 off, I'd be like, all right, I'm buying it. Because I don't know, it's psychologically, me as a guy who buys things, it's like I will buy things if I need them. If I need them or I truly want them, I will just buy it full price, not even think about it. But if I'm like, I want this thing, but I don't need it, then I'm like, I don't know about it. Until you hit me with a deal. Possibly even a steal. Because $6 for Citizen Sleeper, that's a steal right there, baby. You'd be a fool to turn down that offer. And so, I did not turn down that offer. So, let's see. Oh yeah, I forgot I started up this playthrough or whatever. Yeah, I forget how this worked, where I don't know if like halfway through I just decided to start a new playthrough, or if I had like played a little bit and then forgotten what was happening. Yeah, what's going on with my character right now? Can I check out like things I have done? Yeah, complete. Okay, I've done that. Studied the winter light, and I have survived. Disable my tracker. Track the past. Get Sabine out. Get to know Emphas. Pay Ethan's tab. Okay. I kind of do want to interact with Ethan more. That was kind of like, for me, one of the sadder things of like when I like got the tracker off of me, I just never got to see Ethan again. I'm like, I kind of wanted to see that guy again. I wanted to see where his story went. Yeah, I seem to be doing pretty good stability-wise, and I have like some pretty good dice to roll right about now. So yeah. Overlook bar. Get a drink, buy rations. Oh god, the music in this game is fantastic. Steel dock plans. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, I am apparently very much on the watch list. As you are fumbling through the security office, Haven Age security calls out. You are gone, plans in hand, but you've been made. Oh, they made me! Fuck! Oh! Here we go. Yeah. Ankita. I remember you. Hey you, wanna earn a chit? Ankita stands beside a huge pile of tied together whole plates. She stretches out her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her flight suit. Make it two. Ankita laughs. This goddamn station. She sighs and pinches the bridge of her nose. Alright, come here then. across the docking concourse as she begins to split the plating into two bundles. "What is it with this place?" she asks as she angrily lashes the massive plates together. Everyone wants their cut. She straightens up to an imposing height, her armor plates creaking, and looks you up and down. Or is it just that you all think I'm an easy mark? You look the part. And Kita laughs again. "This, you mean?" She taps her armor. "You've got me pegged then. A big dumb merc with more chits than sense, is that it?" "It just looks expensive." "That's fair. Rude, but fair." And Kita hoists one bundle of plating onto her shoulder. "Come on then, enough chat. You've got to earn those chits." You struggle to shoulder the plates, but you do eventually, and Kita gives you a look. "Ship's this way," and she sets off down a gantry at an impressive speed. As you catch up to her, she turns down a passage, pushing through a small crowd of stevedores. Stevedores. What a fun word. I've seen it popped up. I see that pop up in like space fiction all the time, but I gotta look it up now. I gotta know the exact definition of stevedore. Stevedore, one who's employed in the loading or unloading of ships, one whose occupation is to load and unload vessels in port, one who stows a cargo in a hold, a dock worker involved in loading and unloading cargo. I wonder what stevedores do. Maybe it has something to do with loading and unloading cargo. Oh, man. Alright. What's all this for? "Oh, this?" She nods at the plates on her back. "I'm building a treehouse." She gives you another of her looks. "It's for the ambergris, that cutter you might have seen sitting out there." She rapidly turns another corner as you trail behind. "She got cut up pretty bad on our last job, and I had to moor up here for a spell, but since then it's only gotten worse. Someone got in and sliced the core from my ship mine, so now she's gone dark." She shifts the panels on her shoulder. "The upshot is that I'm short on one ship mine with a ton of repairs to do, and the rest of the crew signed off the moment they got wind I've been stranded. So, yeah, it's been a time." "Sorry to hear that." "Yeah, I've seen worse, but I'm bleeding chits every cycle here, so I need to get off, and fast." And Gita swings the plates from her back, almost knocking you over in the process. "This is me." She hauls the second bundle off your shoulder. "You're the first person I've met here who might actually be considered helpful." She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. "Look, you want to help? Come see me. I need a hand putting Amber back together, and you don't seem like the type to try anything stupid." She passes the bundles of plates through the ambergris outer lock and then turns back. "Just don't go spreading all this around." And Kita throws you a couple of chits. She gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. "Alright, get out of here." She calls back and the lock slams shut. Alright. New drive discovered. What's this? Alright. "These old maglocks look like they each need an encrypted key to open. Why the heavy security for a decaying dock?" Hey, Neovend. I remember Neovend. I like Neovend. You see Ethan at a distance shouting from the bar for more drinks. This bill isn't going to be small, is it? Yeah, this is the way you can look into things. Keynode. This node is orbited by the remains of a corporate countermeasure broken long ago by hackers. One encrypted key. Alright. Alright. Baldur's Gap. I do not have 150 chits on me. Sad to say. Well, let's talk to Neovent. As you slip inside the sealed dock, a pulsing light grabs your attention. Among the discarded tubing and rusted plates, a machine flickers with a warm glow. Look around. You don't know when this place was sealed, but from the state of the outer doors high above it, high above it, you need a comma there, right? Am I crazy? I mean, the comma for me personally, just to give it a little bit more readability, but from the state of the outer doors high above, it must have been decades ago. Yeah. Because it feels weird if you're like, but from the state of the outer doors high above it, must have been decades ago. Like, there needs to be a comma somewhere in there. Maybe before it or after it, but in this dark, cavernous space, debris sits in every corner, along with the traces of rough sleepers, although none of it seems recent. Looking past this layer of decay, you see the now faded messages, symbols, and logos of the Eye's original corporate owners, still glinting in the shadows. Among all this, the warm glow of the machine seems to be the only sign of life. Approach the machine. As you get closer, you recognize the machine's blocky shape settle into an alcove in the side of the dock. As a kind of upright cabinet, it is covered in faded logos and messages, from which you assume it was once an industrial vendor intended to dispense and manufacture ship fittings and other mechanical parts necessary for the regular running of freight and resource extraction vessels. Manufacturers listed as Neovend, and you remember an advert from long ago, squeezed among all the off-world recruitment drives that assaulted every planet-born citizen, which chirpily sang that name over and over. You wipe a layer of dust from the cracked screen, thinking of those contractors squeezed by their own corporate employers to pay for every bit of minor maintenance on their rented ships. Enter your registration, chirps a pre-recorded message, catching you off guard. I'm gonna walk away. As you turn away, something begins whirring. At first it sounds like servo motors starting up, but it quickly becomes a whisper, a whining, and a multitonal voice that emanates from Neovend. "Entity," they hiss, "speak with me." I'm gonna stay silent. There's a squeal, almost like some strange mechanical swallowing or intake of breath, before the machine speaks again. "I have need of you. You have need of me." That squeal comes again, and you see that it is the 3D printing apparatus in the upper part of the machine resetting into place so that each time the servos can be orchestrated to produce that whirring, whining voice. "You are in danger." Are you the vending machine? A squeal. "Chose this vessel for its seclusion. Please listen." The machine creaks. "You are marked for deletion, entity. Hunter tracks you." The screech rattles through the empty dock. You remember the strange head, the figure, the threads closing in. Hunter. "The Hunter Protocol. They taste your signature." The sudden whine sets your teeth on edge. "You have seen them. This is the gift of an emulated mind." You close your eyes and the skeleton of the station starts to thrum. "Emulated minds are adaptable, move when neurons cannot." The mechanism resets. "But emulation makes you target." How? "Hunter searches for illegal entities." Neoven screeches. "You are sentient, therefore illegal." The servos judder the vending machine's casing as they reset. "Hunter searches for me, also. Hide in this machine." You look at the ruined vending machine. An unusual hiding place for sure. Encounter Hunter. Need entity outside machine. The light flickers. Need you. A screen attached to the vending machine with a swiveling arm comes to life. It displays a flickering map of the station, ghostly, threaded. A cloud points along the rim glow in deep red. Hunter is always gathering. Too much data. Must build nests, explains Neoven. Masters are gone but continues hunt. Bring this data. Create its nests. Masters? Station builders, Solheim. The machine rumbles impatiently. Long gone. Their protocols still hot. Bring offerings. Save self. Neoven says pointedly. Mutual need means friend. They conclude, tired of the conversation. The whirring amplifies and then suddenly drops as mechanisms within the machine click back into place. The glow fades and you are left stood in the dark of the sealed dock, that whirring voice ringing in your ears. I will say it's pretty great. I love Neoven. Such a fun and interesting character. Because, I don't know, in reality, I don't know if we'll ever really stumble across, stumble or create, artificial intelligence, but I think we might one day. When we do, that would certainly be fascinating. Because it is just interesting to think about, a form of life that is, fundamentally different than our own. Let's see. Alright, yeah. I still sleep in here for now. Alright. Yeah, by the way, can I double check what are my stats? Okay, it seems like I'm good at interface and good at endure. Seems to be my things. Yeah. Alright, alright. Cool. Now, sorry, you'll have to forgive me. I know it's a little early in the live stream to be taking a little, BB, let's say, bathroom break, but I think that's what I might ought have to do. But I'll be back within, a reasonable amount of time, I'm sure. And if not, I don't know, I probably got distracted doing something else. Like watching a video or doing another thing. But yeah. No, nobody's watching right now. Nobody minds. But yeah, if that's the case, maybe then in the meanwhile, I'm kind of surprised you're not hitting me with some music. Yeah. Go to the main menu. Some music there. Just in case you feel like sticking around for whatever reason. But I'll be back. Bah. I will say, I must confess, I do apologize for being gone for so long. But in my defense, I had some wings that needed to be eaten. And eaten they were, let me tell you, man. Dude, legitimately, if you put like my brain into like a jar or a tank or whatever, and like I could just like live, the worst part would be that I would never be able to eat again. Maybe you still could in some way or another, but like, I don't know. Generally, I'd be pretty upset about that. Okay, alright. So I get +1 here, so just go for that. Takes time, skill, and some scavenging to get the twin drones working, but you manage it. They can take the repairs from here. Alright. Now this is riskier, so just go for that. Nikita needs all the help she can with the ambergris. Pockmarked with damage, the hull is a good place to start. Ship safe, +2. With Nikita's help, you systemically isolate, remove, and repair and reseal the hull plates. Amber looks better and better by the hour. So let's slot in one of these. This time a message appears on the terminal screen. Another recording, perhaps? As you turn away from the terminal, the final cache of Yatagan data uploaded, the air crackles with white noise. Sleeper? Sabine's voice, weaker than before, comes through the haze. Listen. This is not a recording, Sleeper. Please, I don't have much time. The call must be coming in from somewhere on the station. This has to be short. I don't know if Yatagan are monitoring me. Their voices hush, distance. You try to focus on it. The data you've been bringing in from the Yatagan agents is something that I don't understand. A shrill howl rattles through the signal. This data is all gleaned from their implants, records of integration with their nervous systems, performance analysis, error rates, usage data. I installed many of these implants and I didn't enable any of this functionality. Their voice dips under the level of the noise, like a swimmer slipping beneath the water. You listen to the waves for a few seconds before Sabine re-emerges. Has to be somehow baked into their wetware's interface. And that's not all. The systems compiling this data are connected to some kind of transmission protocol. It's being broadcast. Wait, why? Every Yatagan enforcer is equipped with black market implants, retinal enhancements, adrenaline boosters, pain suppressors. These implants are gathering data on themselves, on the enforcers' bodies, on their performance. Why? I can't tell. But I can promise you, these foot soldiers have no idea this is going on. The background tone switches, dropping to a grainy rumble. If they knew, I don't imagine they would have been happy with the situation. Yatagan could have a mutiny on their hands. You lean toward the terminal, straining to listen to Sabine's faint voice. I need a few cycles to pull this all together, but this might be the information I need to pressure Yannick into releasing my debt. Yannick? He's one of the heads of Yanagan. They pause. It is better that you don't know about him. Keep it that way. Suddenly a banging echoes through the call. Sabine's voice is suddenly whispered panic. I have to go. Come back in 4 cycles. Then the sharp crack of a disconnect and silence fills the apartment. You step back from the terminal. What does Yatagan have to gain from monitoring its own members? You try to recall what you know about the gang, but you have little to go on. You think of Toshiro, Sabine's minder, his mirrored teardrop implants set below hard eyes. What data could they be gathering? And more importantly, where are they sending it? You reflexively rub your forehead, trying to think. Can you really trust Sabine? How did they come to be Yatagan's doctor in the first place? You think of their kindness, their care, but also that glazed look of recognition that they gave you when they first met you. That look stays in your mind as you slip back out of the apartment, glancing around as you close it up and drift into the corridors of the station, unable to shake the unpleasant sensation of being observed. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Complex, man, complex. You know, let's go to Emphasis stall. I don't have any Giroli caps, but I will order some fungus. Emphasis spice fungus is one of the few things potent enough to stimulate your limited taste sensors. It's incredible stuff. Alright. Could always head up, but I feel like I got some other stuff to do down here. Let's try this. Alright. There we go. Got money back for my meal. So, what do I got? Owned by the Ort Exchange. Hunter list. I will say that is interesting that for like the hacking sections you need to have the right kind of die. Alright, okay. Well, so let's do some hull repairs. Alright. Recognize some of the data tangled into this nest. Is this a partial log of your recent movements? Those familiar threads wrap around you, bind you, test you. Entity, submit. Hunter's strange head bobs in your vision. Your ally in the sealed dock cannot save you. In that globed head you see whirling strings of data. So much spinning there. So much spinning there that they threaten to tear through the thin skin and whip out into the void around. What happened to this creature? The threads squeeze and you lose any sympathy you might have had. You must escape. Shrike. You lash out once more, pushing Hunter back, severing threads that regrow as fast as they are broken. As you slip away, you realize you have to find a way to deal with Hunter once and for all. This is getting too dangerous. From what you can gather, this nest contains thousands of name strings. Are these Erlin's Eye residents? Alright. Neoven believes that hunters compulsively gathered data might hold the key to escaping its tenacious search. Neoven wants data on the hunter's protocol's actions and behavior so we might counter it. As you upload the data to the vending machine, Neoven whirs in either pain or delight. It's hard to tell. You're unsure if your frame can metabolize alcohol, but this fungal drink fermented along the greenway seems like a good test. The Overlook isn't exactly a restaurant, meaning the only way you'll gain trust around here is with a stiff drink. Sure, why not? Energy. Overlook regular. The glass shatters on the steel bar beside you, and the taunts don't take too long to follow. Hey, Aunt! The spacer calls across the low room. What are you doing here? He laughs at his own lame joke. Playing human. Well, you shout back. You spin back off your stool, scrambling for words. A hand falls on your shoulder, but as you flinch away, it pats reassuringly. You freeze in place. Out. The voice comes from behind you, spat out like a shot. You turn to see bright eyes, dark hair, a stare that could breach the wall and vent you all into hard vacuum. As you turn back to the spacer, the second glass comes sailing through the air. Catch. You reach up a hand and the glass shatters across your forearm, showering you in fragments. Through the haze of glass and Girol vapor, you see Talia leap the bar and close the distance to the spacer. The thud as he slams into the wall echoes around the bar like thunder. Now flanked by other figures quick to their feet, Talia throws the spacer out through the door and stands silhouetted against the rotunda lights. You touch your arm and it feels wet. Someone helps you to your feet and back onto your stool. Broken glass rattles as it's cleared, and a fresh measure of Girol is glugged out in front of you. That same hand, warm, heavy, falls on your shoulder once more. He isn't coming back. We don't tolerate that kind of shit here. Taller flops onto the stool beside you. Let's get a good look at you. Tala wipes the powdered glass from around the wound, and someone places a bottle of alcohol in a metal tin with tweezers on the bar. She disinfects them and then turns to you. That was an ambitious catch. She smiles, pulling a sliver of glass from your forearm. Stupid, but ambitious. You don't feel the pain, only the string of status messages your body delivers concerning dermal damage and exposed structures. You do feel the care, though, as Tala's bright eyes search your thick synthetic skin for splinters. Watch her. Tala works with the skill of someone who had to pick glass splinters from the skin of a stranger before. She hones in on each bright shard, all the time tapping the tweezer tips in a little rhythms that only she can follow. Tala smiles to herself. So, you've been on the eye long? Hmm. No, believe it or not, I'm actually not a talker. More of a drinker, personally. Speaking of, I gotta try this drink, man. I gotta try this little slurp. Because it's been a while since I've had a little slurp. But I got one in hand right now, and it's open. And can I be honest? If you don't know what Little Slurp is, perfectly fine. It's a beer from Noda, the brewing company. Which if you also don't know is fine, but it's a IPA. Might even be a double IPA. No, it's a juicy IPA. And I don't know, for the longest time, I've had this pretty frequently because it is my stepdad's favorite drink. And like, or I don't know if it's his favorite, but it's one of his favorite beers, that's for certain. And like, I don't know, it somewhat recently, I like tried it after having this thing for years, and I'm like, whoa, I just had a sip of this, and it was actually like really good. It went from being like a decent IPA, like an IPA that I can drink, even though I'm not like a big fan of hops, where most IPAs, particularly if you're not like a, let's say, seasoned drinker, most IPAs are going to taste extremely like hops. And hey, maybe you like hops. If so, good for you. Try an IPA. But if you're not really a fan of hops, it is a bit overwhelming and definitely not the best tasting beer you can get, particularly if you're starting out drinking beer. But like, I had it, and I just had this this like funny kind of realization where I'm like, oh, this is good now. I get why I get why my stepdad likes this finally. And let's see if that holds true. Let's see if that remains. If that's still a true thing, or if it was just that one particular can I had. Now, it's not as good as that one I had, but that's actually got a premium aftertaste. Now, not a lot of IPAs I've had have like a really good aftertaste. Sometimes they may have like an okay one or an interesting one. That has a pretty good aftertaste. That is quite nice. Oh. Anyway, sorry, that's just been sitting collecting, I don't know, sweat, I guess. So, I had to open that. But anyway. I don't know what kind of voice I want to give to Tala. I want to give her like a almost vaguely kind of southern accent, but I'm not quite sure how to do that. Not a talker. Splinter clicks into the tin. Not everyone is like that, idiot. We don't all hate you. She glances around. Some of the regulars, maybe they fear you. Maybe they're just curious. I don't know. But I do know that the Overlook is a safe place. I know what it's like to be new in this place. Trust me. She meets your eye. I'm not trying to convince you of anything or separate you from your chits. I just want you to know that if you need somewhere, you can always come here. I know the rations we got aren't much and the company is, she leans in, limited. But if you need work, I'll happily put you behind the bar. And if you need shelter, well, we can discuss that. You'll be safe. I usually have Francis on the door, but he's up in the greenway this cycle, haggling with our supplier. Francis tends to be particular about what we serve, even if the clientele isn't. She places her tweezers in the tin with a clink. That's you, Sleeper. Here. She slides the glass of Griol to you. This'll help. She stops her hand, still on the glass. Wait, does this help? I mean, can you get drunk? Let's find out. She laughs. Just don't sit here too long. I'd hate to see you become a real regular. She walks back around the bar, gathering the glasses as she does, and before long is retelling how she threw that spacer out to a new group that just wandered in, complete with dramatic actions. She gestures in your direction and you instinctively look away, back to the worn surface of the bar. You take a sip of the Garoli. The earthly fungal tone fills your senses, almost blocking out sight and sound, like diving headfirst into a bog. You may not be able to get drunk, but this connection to something grown, something fermented, something old, feels good. Oh, that's nice. Alright, alright. Alright. Sorry, you'll have to forgive me, I'm freaking out. You've heard Yatagan Enforcer based here has been paying low-end residents for information on Haven Age movements. Sure. Hand that over. 10 cryo minus 1 Haven Age data. I don't have any more. Alright, alright. See, do I head up? Enter the spoke. Tangled network of service passages and makeshift tunnels cut through the spoke as if it were a hive. There are no maps here. Spoke climber. The spoke is a layer after layer of dense urban fabric. The only way to explore it is vertically. Listed with precarious elevators and stairways, the spoke can be navigated from the outside, but the climb requires bravery. Alright, I'll do a little one die on that. Neutral outcome. Alright. Now this one I'll do a little 4. Alright, so first you spend hours on the staircase that never seems to end. When you reach the peak, the view is incredible, but you feel the pain. And then, a series of tangled passages spits you out the other side of the spoke with a little more knowledge than when you went in. Alright. Now I am flickering a little bit. Yeah, how do you restore that top bar? Well, let's go here. Talk to Inkita. Inkita is crouched in the computing core of the ambergris, swearing to herself when you enter. She doesn't look up. These shits completely ruin the core's connectors when they cut it. She holds up a thick fistful of ragged wires. The ship line they've ripped out won't even be usable without replacing them. She throws the bundle of wires across the room. Amateurs. Who took it? She stands. If I knew, do you think I'd be waiting around here rather than out there with my boot on their neck? She sighs. Yatagan. Some spacer crew? No way to know, but they got in with one of my crew's access chips, so they either killed him, robbed him, or he was in on it. No good options. Nikita climbs out of the cooling well where the ship mine should be. Space suddenly crowded with her on the same level as you, towering over you as she stoops beneath the low curved ceiling. Come on, nothing to be done here now. She leads you back through the guts of the amber, though you could find the way back yourself. The repair process has left you familiar with the cutter's idiosyncratic layout, all diagonal angles and bundled tubes. I'll walk in silence. Not much of a talker. Hums and groans grow and fall as you pass. You reach out and touch the ship gently. You've started to grow an attachment to Amber. Nikita glances at you. Something up, sleeper? Thinking about Amber. Nikita softens. Funny to hear you use her name like that. She pauses. Not bad, just funny. We've been through a lot together, me and the ship. I'm glad you see why she's special. Peter seems lost in thought, and you focus on the corridors, ducking below conduits and passing through bulkheads. Eventually, you arrive in the galley. Though it's hard to tell, most of the benches and prep surfaces are covered in half-stripped... Striped? That's stripped, right? Striped is with one P, right? Hey, listen, man, I might be an idiot, but, you know, I'll never not Google something if I'm confused by it. So if I do striped with one P, okay, yeah, so striped with one P is having lines or bands of different color or texture. So yeah, that is stripped. In half-stripped components and welded hull patches, Ankita shoves a box of filters to the floor and sits. There's no way around it. She starts out of nowhere. We need a new ship mind. I can salvage one. I like your confidence, Sleeper. Maybe we check the ore exchange or speak to some scrap dealers. She rubs her forehead. Seems like I'm about to do something very stupid. But, hey, I came here, didn't I? Why not make a run of it? She fixes you with a hard stare. Sleeper, you're all I got. No crew, no friends. You're it. She looks uncomfortable. I appreciate the time you put in on the Amber, and I'm sure she would too, if she could. What I'm saying is, if you screw me on this, I will kill you. She leans over and hands you a stack of chits. A big stack of chits. You don't dare to count them. Give me that ship mine, Sleeper. Don't make me regret this. But, she sighs. Look, just get out of here before I change my mind. You slip out of the galley and head back towards the main lock. As you do, Amber growls and creaks like a caged animal. You reach a hand out to calm her. Time to find Ankita's ship mind. Somehow. Alright. Okay. Could certainly use some fungus. This is coming out of my money, okay? Yeah, where is the ore exchange? Is it here? I have a feeling it's here. Somehow, deep in the spoke, you come across a thoroughfare, lit by work lamps where groups pass back and forth with ease. Has import-export. Sell ship mind. Import Matsutake or buy ship mine core. 3 hundo. It's a little rich for my blood, personally. And then I'm also gonna have to pay that guy. Oh, I'm fucked, man. Oh, I'm fucked. Shipyard. Yeah, can I get any hints on where, yeah, build a ship mine? Oh, it's here, okay. Or the exchange. Oh, okay, there we go. Play the exchange. The flow of chits and components in the exchange is complex, but a sharp eye and some tight trades can net you a good margin. Alright, 12 cryo, slightly trusted trader. Ooh. Hurt me good there, hurt me good. Let's see here. I buy some scrap. Well, I'm just gonna call it quits for the moment. Okay, I'm gonna try to sunbathe. play the exchange, maybe? Okay, that didn't work out. Try it again. God fucking damn it. It's going terrible for me. And Kita's gonna fucking kill me. She's gonna kill me and I'm gonna fucking die, and then I'm also gonna have to pay Ethan's tab. How can someone drink this much in 6 cycles? Ethan hasn't held back while he has been in the compressor. Oh, pay it back. As you hand over the chits, you hear Ethan laughing hysterically somewhere down the bar. I can't believe you just did that. Ethan's mocking laugh comes from along the bar. You look over to see him leaning across it in a pool of light, empty glasses and spilled drinks glinting around him. It's always dark in the compressor, but this cycle this place is packed. Load of spacers mixing with the locals. Usually they run. Ethan spins a glass on the bar, or they go spend their savings on some local heavy you have to put down. They don't pay. I'll walk away. Ethan gets to his feet. The glass falls and smashes, but he doesn't seem to notice. You think that's it? One round of drinks and we are even? Sleeper, come on. His hand comes to rest on the butt of his handgun, dangling from a chest holster. What's wrong with you? Ethan laughs hard, and the people around him turn to see what's happening. You think this is on me? I think someone in your position might have a better idea of how this all works. I'm a freelancer, Sleeper. Just like you. We both signed a contract with SNARP, didn't we? The difference is that my word means something. He closes the gap, stumbling a little. What did you think? You could just run away from your contract, your debt? You could just steal that natty little body of yours and take it for a joyride? Play human for a cycle or two? You don't understand. It's you, Sleeper, that doesn't understand. Some of us pay our debts, but it's all the harder because of idiots like you. Oh, I should thank you. Ethan nods, his head heavy, for giving me such an easy job. I'm used to outlaws, you know, real bounties. If I knew catching sad little escapades like you was so easy, I would have changed clients ages ago. Someone shouts from the back of the bar for Ethan to shut up. He holds up a finger in that general direction without turning around. Nothing to add? Ethan turns and walks back towards the bar. Good. Lesson learned. Ethan sits heavily back down on his stool and searches through his glasses for one with something left in it. The thing is, Sleeper, I can find you anywhere. It's actually wild that you haven't figured it out. That body isn't yours, and it will always betray you, no matter what. He finds a glass and downs the contents. So, please go. I'll catch up with you whenever I need another. He laughs and taps the bar for a fresh drink. You turn on your heel and are out of the cloying dark and the sweat stench of the compressor. You walk hard and fast down the walkway, anger driving your footfalls into the metal of the rim like hammers. Can I say I like Ethan? Like, I know the guy's like a piece of shit and like a terrible person, but like, I kind of like him. I find him to be endearing a little bit. Alright, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, let's become a better engineer, I think. Oh, this is where you go to actually get some stabilizer, which I do not have and I cannot afford. So I gotta fucking try to work my ass off. Okay, alright. So, gotta wait for that. Ah, I can contact Sabine now. Let's see what's here though. Steel shipment. So many shipments. What's one diverted package? You would have no idea what you're stealing, but that's part of the fun, right? Stealing shipments from midline is going to be picked up fast, even if you are careful. Systems can't be fooled for too long. I'll give it a shot, man. Random items, midline security. Okay, alright. But now I can go here and I can input some scrap components. Make some good cry on the components, which moments later are being disassembled right in front of you. There we go. There we go. Now I'm getting somewhere. But yeah, let's contact Sabine. Maybe they can give me another stabilizer. 4 cycles, Sabine said, and here you are right on time with no sign of them. You wait a while in the apartment, the dread descending as the cycle spins onward. They should be here. I'll check the terminal. You check and double the terminal for messages or recordings. Nothing, just a pale glow and silence. Check the door. You pace back and forth around the apartment, the rumbling of the station suddenly so present and loud. You go to the door and open it to an empty corridor. You close it again. Wait. You try to settle down to wait. You sit on the bunk and stare out at the tiny room. Where the hell are they? A knock at the door. Stay still. Another knock. Stay still. A flash, small, impossibly bright, cuts through the handle of the door. It soundlessly swings open. A figure stands in the door, and immediately you know it's not Sabine. They are taller, sharper, and something in their face glints in the half-light. A dark shape, like a stubby baton, hangs loosely from their hand. My local sleeper. Good to finally meet you. She steps into the apartment, glancing around with sharp eyes. What, may I ask, are you doing here? She fixes you with a steady, unwavering stare. This will be much more pleasant if we remain friendly, don't you think? She walks past you into the apartment, glancing around. We set them up here, you know. This place is one of ours. She picks up a glass from the dispenser and inspects it. People always seem to forget who put them where they are. She glances at you. And I suppose you are here to help. No. What then? An opportunist? Even better. She spins the baton in her fingers by her side, her eyes not leaving yours. We have a problem, you and I. It seems our friend has disappeared, left without even saying goodbye, which means they are in a little trouble now. But it's the kind of trouble that you need help for, so I thought I'd come down here and take a look at their little hidey hole, and here you are, the help. She looks through the detritus on the side. And what help? A sleeper, no less, which I have to admit is a little surprising. It suggests to me that our friend hasn't been very honest with you either. She looks away. I know it won't be welcome news, but I'm sorry to report that before we got them set up here, Sabine was working for your owners. She pauses. Essen Arp? You blink hard at the news, unsure how to take it. Rabia looks away, waiting for a response. She crosses into the next room and you follow silently. She sits at the terminal and touches her baton to one of the access ports. A spark, then the terminal screen skips, encrypted folders emptying themselves before your eyes. In the flicker of files, you see SNR letterheads and code forms, reports laden with medical data marked with the corporate logo like the sigil of some cult. Rabaya steps away from the terminal. Look, all you want, some of your files may even be there. The volume of documents is overwhelming, but they seem to be mostly reports on early emulation tests, surveys with sleeper candidates, reams and reams of usage data. If Sabine was an SNR employee, why did they help you? Her buyer reaches over and places a vial stabilizer on the desk, breaking your concentration. It shimmers in the screen light, its viscous, clear liquid crystalline within the glass. Or clear liquid. Yeah, I feel like I read that wrong, even though I don't know if I did. What's up? I'm a real guy. I'm like a person with thoughts and emotions and bad reading skills. I don't know. I'll tell you what. I never really liked being the guy who had to read something out loud in class, but to be fair, there were people who were worse than me at reading out loud in class, so there is that. I don't know. I'll be honest. In high school, I was kind of the kid that like got along with all my like English teachers in high school. Middle school, I don't know if I really made too much of an impact in middle school. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to remember like my teachers in middle school, and I can't really do it. Like, I don't know. I moved from Florida in the 6th grade to North Carolina, so I started the 7th grade there. And like, I don't know, I remember some of my teachers not being great. I don't remember really any standouts though. I don't remember any like highlights of like, oh wow, that was a really good teacher. I just don't remember a single one. Meanwhile, I remember like pretty much all of my high school English teachers, because like my freshman teacher, she also taught like speech and debate. I really liked her, and I took speech and debate one year to kind of help me overcome my social anxiety slash stuttering and like general nervousness presenting in front of class when I had to do it. And then like my like my sophomore teacher, she was really great. And like I don't know, I think she liked me too. And then I don't know if this was my junior year or senior year, but I had like another teacher. All of them women, by the way. Just coincidentally. I don't know, I'm trying to remember. I'm like, did I have a male English teacher? Was that like senior year or something? I don't know for sure. But like, she also liked me. I got like, I got caught like cheating on a test at one time, at one point, and she was like disappointed in me, but she was like, you can make it up. And then we were like cool for the rest of the year, because she was like, you seem to be like one of the few kids who tries and like cares, so you're good in my book. I don't know, but yeah, most of my my English teachers were fans of me. I don't know. I took like an animal science class as an elective, and the guy who ran the class was also like the leader of the FFA, Future Farmers of America, which, as he clarified several times, it no longer stands for Future Farmers of America. It's just FFA, and the FFA doesn't fucking stand for anything. Which I think is dumb, but I mean, hey, the guy likes the organization, whatever. But like, I don't know, it was quite rather funny where like, I don't know, I think he liked me because I was a freshman in that class, where the rest of the like the main kids I sat with were all like sophomore or older, and like I'm not like a generally enthusiastic kid, but I like being smart and I like doing well. And so just purely based off of that, if you somehow, some way find my high school yearbook from some year, probably my freshman year, I assume, I'm in like the FFA photo group. even though I was not in the FFA. I didn't join. I didn't pay. Like, you had to pay like $10 or something like that. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to join a club. I want to go home and play video games. And like, but for whatever reason, I'm in the FFA group, like group photo, because like I got called out for it. I'm like, well, I guess I'll take a class photo with this group that I haven't done anything for, other than that, like the teacher who runs it kind of likes me. Oh man. But yeah, I don't know. I am really trying to think about it because, like, I don't know. I can remember most of my good teachers. I remember, like, both my Spanish teachers because they were, like, complete, like, contrast. Whereas, like, my first year Spanish teacher was was a, you know, woman who was having a tough time in her life. And she would, like, often talk about novio, which is like Spanish for boyfriend, or at least akin to boyfriend. So she like talked about him quite a fair bit, and like I don't know, it was kind of funny. There was one point where I thought I had to like attend the uh, like the after school thing, like when like right before exams. It's like for your primary classes, like the STEM classes, you had to like show up. You had to like do your science class or math class or English class or history class or whatever. Like that was required for you to go to. But if it wasn't, if it was like an elective, you could just like go home early if you had the opportunity. And so like I thought I had to stay, and like I could have left, but I ended up not doing that. And so I like got there, and she's like, "So, who's filled out the packet?" And there's like maybe like 5 kids there. There's not a lot of people there. And she like sees that none of us has actually filled out like the additional extra credit, like not necessary packet. And then she's like starts to like get mad and yelling. She's like, "All right, Evie, if you don't really care, then just leave." And then I'm like, "Okay, I'll just leave." And then I got up and left. And I went to like because I was also taking like a computer science or like programming elective, and like I just like went there. I'm like, "Hey, so I'm kind of stuck at school until it officially gets out. You mind if I like work on some stuff here?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure." And so I'm like the only guy in there. And then he like, for like the final exam, we had to like make a specific thing, and it was like kind of interesting. Whereas like I think he was just like, "Oh well, it's nice that you decided to come here," and then he just like told me how to like complete the final assignment. It was just like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna want to use this and you're gonna want to do that." And I'm like, "Oh okay, I wouldn't have thought of that. All right, yeah, thank you." And so I just did that, and then I just like relaxed for the rest of the day. And then school got out, and I took the bus home. Dude, high school is funny, man. You know, a lot of memories there, but also a lot of not memories. I remember a significant chunk of high school. I probably remember high school more than any other school period, almost kind of including college. But I only went to college for like half a semester, and that half a semester fucking sucked for me. So I don't. I remember a decent amount. I don't like to think about it just because I'm like, it's a sore spot for me. But yeah, it's like high school is the most memorable, but it's like, I don't know, I just think about like how much I have forgotten about high school. Like again, it's like I took 4 years in high school, which is pretty standard, but I'm like, yeah, what was my final English class? Because it's like I remember 3 teachers I had, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe if I doubled up on one of them, because like I doubled up on like history class one year, so that way like my senior year I literally my final year of high school I took 2 classes, and they were like AP courses. Like I think I took like AP psychology, and then like AP like history or something like that, or like civics or something. But like, so I would like go to school. I would take 2 classes, and then I would go home like halfway through the day. And also, you might be going, "Wait, you only took 2 classes?" Yeah, my school was set up kind of weird, where you had like only like 4 classes a semester, or you had like 6 classes a semester. I don't know. I forget how exactly it was done, but you had like you had like less classes, but like each class was like an hour and a half. So like you got like longer time spent doing that class. It was also a public school, by the way. It was just how they did it. But I don't know. I certainly preferred that. I definitely liked that option of like yeah, I'll take only like 4 classes and like focus primarily on these classes, and then you know, only have like a few electives instead of having like a bunch of classes where you're doing them like all year. Like just take half the year to do like half the classes, and then next year you do the other half of the classes that you need to do, or you know, get the credits or whatever. Sorry, I don't know, I'm talking about my high school experience now, which again is something I don't remember all that much. Because it's like, I remember my English teachers. I remember. Oh, I'm trying to think. I remember like my middle school math teacher, but I off the top of my head, I cannot remember any of my other math teachers at this moment. Math was like one of my least favorite subjects. I was decent at it, but I just like hated it. No, I remember one. I remember one because also in that class, I got caught for cheating. This might make it seem like I'm a cheater, which I am. All right, because I found out in the first grade of elementary school, I like was sat next to this really smart girl, and so like I would vaguely pay attention to class, but like I would also not, and then I would just like cheat off of her, like every single test, and so like I remember at one point, like maybe halfway through the school year, they're like, my teacher, she was like, doing like different, like changing the seating in the class, and I was just like, oh God, please let me still be sitting next to the smart girl that I cheat off of, and then, uh, like she goes through and it's like, all right, and Liam, you're sitting here, and I like literally out loud go yes, because I was still sitting next to the smart girl I cheated off of, and like I don't know, I would say I probably had like a little crush on her, but not like a major crush or anything. But like I don't know, I was like yes, I can still cheat off of her, which is like kind of funny, because like I don't know. I think me cheating off her, I really just did it because it allowed me to like slack off more and not pay attention, and I just liked being able to do that. Because like from second to like fourth grade onward, it's like I was still like a smart kid that like got good grades, but like I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my recollection recollection of the events is hazy and not fully filled out, but like I don't know, I kind of remember in second grade to fourth grade I was like I was like able to get through, and I like didn't cheat off of anyone, and I just like paid attention more, because like from going from fourth grade to fifth grade I got put into the gifted program, and like the teacher fucking hated me in the gifted program because I'm this like smug asshole who like I didn't like do the homework for the first week, and he's like, what, why didn't you do the homework? He like took me out of class to like talk to me, and I'm just like, oh, I don't need to do it, I don't need to practice the vocabulary, I remember it, and he took that shit personally, and like just fucking hated me for the rest of the semester. And it like at the time I'm like, oh, I really fucked up, I'm a dumb idiot, and like I deserve to be treated like shit by this guy. But then like in retrospect it's like I'm like a fifth grader, so I don't know how old fifth graders are, but like if I was six, I was like 5 or 6 in first grade, so like 4 years later I was like 10 or 11 maybe. And Yeah, because 12 seems right. I was like 12 in my first year of middle school, 6th grade. So like it's like this this old man, this like 30 to 40-year-old man just hates this fucking 10-year-old. And in retrospect, it just seems very funny. By the time, it fucking sucked, man. It really, like, kind of ruined my passion for school and education. Like, I really wish I didn't join the gifted program. I wish I just stayed in the normal one and, like, did that. Because, like, I think that just would have been better overall, like, mentally and, like, socially and a bunch of other things, man. It was just, like, terrible. I was just, like, I was a bit of the black sheep in that class. Hey, some good music. This music been playing the whole time. I just haven't noticed because I've been talking. This seems like a new song. This seems like it's kind of ramping up. But yeah, anyway, school is a very funny thing because it seems like the most important thing in the world, and then suddenly one day you're 25 years old and you realize that none of that shit fucking mattered. Like, it mattered in the sense that it's like, I grew up, it's like learning how to learn, I think, is genuinely a useful skill that school teaches you. And like, again, I think it's really a shame that I dropped out of college and just had a bad time and like never went back. I never applied to like a different college because like I think I would have done pretty well. I think I would have had like a good experience, but I was just so like dejected and depressed and just unfortunately going through it that I just never went back to college and made that leap. And it's like, I don't know, did I ruin my life by making that decision? Maybe, but maybe I would have ruined my life by trying to go back to college. I don't know. Either way, I would say pick a good college. Don't ever drink anything that anyone gives you. Unless they give you a fucking sealed can or something that you know it would have been like almost impossible to tamper with. Even then, even if you're like, well, nobody could have tampered with this. Still, caution is advised because I got drugged when I was at college and it fucking sucked. Fortunately I'm not a woman, so I didn't have anything completely terrible happen to me, but I did get drugged by a bunch of people that I thought were my friends, and I probably almost died. So yeah, I would just say be careful, being in college, man. Oh god, that shit sucked. Again, I don't want to think about it. I would much rather think about like high school or even middle school and elementary school. Those are better times. And then like kindergarten and preschool, I remember like very few glimpses of that. Like I might have a particular scene or two that I remember of like, I don't know, I can like picture my kindergarten classroom. Like we had one of those things that was like, we had like almost like a stoplight sort of thing where like you would have like a pin with your name on it, and if you like got into trouble like on the playground or something, or you were disruptive during class, you would have to move your pin from the green to the yellow, and then if you were really bad, you had to move your pin from the yellow to the red. And I don't know, man, school is fucking weird. Like, on one hand, I understand why they did that. On the other hand, I don't know if that was the healthiest thing to do. Oh, man. Utilizing a combination of unique hop and fruit additions, this juicy IPA delivers a diverse amount of tropic and citrus aroma and flavor. Life is short. Slurp it up. Sorry, I'm reading the beer can I'm drinking out of. I'm just in a reading kind of mood. And I think the reason why I'm talking about fucking school is that's the last time I read, man. When I dropped out of school, it's like, I still read comics on occasion, primarily manga, but I occasionally read, like, American comics, too. Uh, but like I don't know, man. I dropped out of school, and like when I was no longer forced to read, I stopped reading, and like I don't know. I've read some books over the years, but not a lot, and it's I don't know, because like on one hand, I like think in my head like it doesn't matter what kind of media you consume. You can sit around reading books all day, and that's not necessarily making you smarter or better. But simultaneously, I'm like, if instead of playing video games, I read books, I would be a smarter, better person. Like, I know for a fact that's not true, but there's a part of me that believes it. It kind of similar to like movies, where I'm not much of a movie guy. I don't dislike movies, but like for whatever reason, my fucking dumbass is suited to playing video games and watching TV shows. I'm like, ooh, a 90-minute movie? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can fit that into my fucking schedule that consists primarily of nothing. But like, oh, a fucking 6-season television show with each episode being about like uh let's say for the sake of this like 30 minutes, and so there's 10 episodes each season, so each season would be about 5 hours long, and so it like 30 hours of TV. Oh yeah, I'll watch that, no problem. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I'll watch The Sopranos. Oh, you want me to watch The Godfather? No, thanks. I'm good actually. Although I will say I'm working my way through Sopranos season 3. Fucking fantastic television, man. Like I kind of took a little break from it, and like the first episode I watched, getting back into it, was like episode 5 or 6. I don't know. It's whatever one is titled like University, and my God, is that a fucking great episode of television, man. Like I don't know, the university episode of The Sopranos is really interesting because it's really comparing and contrasting like Meadows' experience as a young woman in college and like kind of the highs and lows of that with like Tony Soprano working at a strip club, and like it kind of the sort of like main character of it besides Tony Soprano is this like young 20-year-old woman who like it just has a lot of problems and tragedy befall her, and it's like this really interesting thing of like comparing and contrasting these two things. It's like simultaneously Tony Soprano is like putting his daughter through college and like kind of doing what he can for her and like being kind of good, but also being a ginormous racist about it. Like, I don't know, I will say, out of context, it's so funny to like, because like before I watched Sopranos, I did hear that like it's like, man, imagine being so racist you have like a panic attack because you open up your cabinet and you see like Uncle Ben's rice, and it gives you a panic attack because you're so fucking racist. And just out of context, it's so funny. But like in context of the Sopranos show, it's like obviously a critique of Tony Soprano, where it's like this man is extremely racist. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's definitely a fantastic bit of television. I will say, watching it, especially from like a modern day lens, like watching it in 2026, it's like, listen, there are some movies where it's like Fight Club or like not even American Psycho. Like people point to like Patrick Bateman as like, oh, this is what dudes want to be, but it's like it like the idea of Patrick Bateman is like what dudes want to be, which is like some rich yuppie who's like intelligent and like attractive and like psychopathic. Like that's the idea of Patrick Bateman. Because you actually watch American Psycho, Patrick Bateman is this fucking like freak of a man. Like I can't imagine anyone watching American Psycho and being like, yeah, I want to be just like Patrick Bateman. Like you haven't seen the movie if you think that. You don't know anything about Patrick Bateman other than he like walks down his corporate hallway listening to music on his headphones. But like the joke is that he's listening to the most vapid music possible, and like he pretends like he has an understanding of it, but he's really just parroting what other people say. Like Patrick Bateman isn't a person. He is like the quintessential like 80s yuppie stockbroker guy. Like he's a parody. And so it's I don't know, it's very bizarre. But like I don't know, I haven't seen Fight Club, but I know about Fight Club. It's like I get people wanting to be Brad Pitt, you know? I kind of get it. Even though it's like, if you watch the fucking movie, you're like, no, this guy is actually extremely flawed and kind of terrible. But still, irregardless, it's like, it's like, I don't know, Tony Soprano is one of those guys. Like, he's in the vein of fucking Walter White from Breaking Bad, where it's like, it's like, here's like a guy that's clearly a villain that if you watch and pay attention and have the slightest bit of like media literacy, you understand that this guy is like a bad guy. He's still a human, so you can like relate to him in some ways or like him in some ways, but ultimately he's an awful person that kind of gets what's coming to him. And so it's like very weird that like Tony Soprano is like one of those like toxic masculine like role models, where it's like the guy is so pathetic. Like it just, I don't know, it's very fascinating. It's incredibly great show. I would highly recommend The Sopranos to almost anybody. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's a fantastic show with like a lot of interesting stuff to say. And like I don't know, I was watching the university episode and I can just imagine somebody being like, oh, this is so boring. Why are we following Meadow at college? Let's get back to Tony Soprano. I want to see like gang violence and stuff. And it's like, no, pay attention. All right, like there are two stories going on, like the A story and the B story. Meadow is the B story, but like they relate to each other thematically, and like the show is saying something with that by presenting both of these stories at the same time in the same episode. Whereas like you kind of see like two men taking advantage of women and ultimately not caring about them, only caring about them so much as they can profit or like, you know, use them for their own gain or pleasure. And then as soon as they're not able to do that, they discard them. And it's like this really tragic thing. And I don't know, it's a fucking fantastic fucking episode of television. Oh man. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I've like failed in doing possibly anything else, and I've like specced all my points into being able to analyze and critique media, I think, pretty decently. Because like I don't know, again, watching The Sopranos is like there's so many moments where it's like they use sound effects or like stuff that feels like very outdated. Like nowadays when you watch The Sopranos, but it's like very interesting to see that, to see how like how the show is being made and what it's emulating and how it succeeds and how it fails. Like it is fucking fascinating to see. It's like, I don't know, I truly do love like media and art, and it's like a great thing to engage with. And like, I don't know, I was kind of thinking about that because like particularly the season finale of season 2, if you've seen it, it's like it's a great fucking season finale. Like it's actually phenomenal, and season 2 was already fantastic. But like there are some parts of that finale where I'm like, ooh. Like, yeah, I understand what's happening, but like it just particularly like the sound effects and some of the editing choices, as well as like a couple of other things, like kind of completely take you out of it. But it's like I understand why it's made. And like I was thinking about this with like the new Persona 4 revival remake game coming out, where it's like it's like, I don't know, I think it's a very human thing to look at something and be like, oh, there are flaws in this, we can make this better, we could do it again, but we could do it right this time. But like, I think that's kind of a wrong instinct. I think people will eat it up because people do like that. They do like being told the same stories or experiencing the same bit of media again, maybe in a slightly different form. Like oftentimes you see books are turned into movies, and like people who are fans of the books or the novels end up watching the movie and like enjoy them, but also might have some critiques or be like, oh, I wish they had done this differently, or yada yada yada. And like, I don't know. I think this is like a really fascinating thing that we do, because like I really enjoy it with like Invincible. Whereas like I'm not really interested in the Invincible comics. I really like the Walking Dead comics. I like them a lot more than the TV show. But like watching the Invincible TV show, it's like it's so fucking good, and kind of knowing that it's like Robert Kirkman's like second try at telling this story again, but doing it better, it makes it all the more greater. Of like, I kind of love that. I kind of love the human spirit of being like, hey, I did this thing before, now I'm gonna do it again, but I'm gonna fucking do it better. And I think that's a great thing. But also, I think that like your first try should still be kind of preserved. Like, it is still nice going back and playing like the original version of a game. Like, there are merits to it. You know, some ways it may be better, and other ways it may be worse than its successor. And so, I don't know. I kind of really love that stuff and find it to be incredibly fascinating, and that's why I'm drunkenly rambling and ranting about it. So forgive me for that. And also, forgive me for taking a little break. Alrighty. Heyo. Sorry I left for so long, but whatever. Uh, so yeah, Rabia reaches over and places a vial stabilizer on the desk, breaking your concentration. It simmers in the screen light. It's viscous, clear liquid crystalline within the glass. We will of course keep up the supply. We are more than able to dispense important medicines, even without the doctor. You hold it between your fingers, and for a tiny moment you have the urge to crush this object for the power it has over you. I'll ask Toshiro to make those a little cheaper for you. He'll be running the surgery now. Rabia closes up the briefcase lab and holds it at her side. We have to retrieve our assets, of course, but I'm sure you understand. Rabia turns on her way out. There's no reason for us to be enemies, Sleeper. Come, see me. I keep an office nearby. We have good work to do, you and I. Meet me there in a few cycles. She slips out silently into the corridor. You look around the apartment and feel the fear drain out of your body to reveal the tiredness beneath. Oh. I do really like this game. I think it is great. Alright. Yeah, let me actually do something here. Yeah, hold on. What's the thing here that I'm not allowed to do? Yeah, I need to intuit more. God damn, man. Can I just quit getting a negative outcome on that? I really need to get a positive outcome on that, man. Alright, well, fine. Is there any data I can scavenge? Neovend is thrumming with excitement. The movement of the servo motors rock the vending machine back and forth at unsettling angles. You wonder if it fell over, would Neovend be able to get back up? Before I begin reading Neovend's dialogue. I will say, I know, this might just be me and my personal outlook on life coming through here, but like, I don't know, I remember reading some Reddit post the other day, or I think it was actually today, about like, it's like, it's like young men these days, or young boys, are dating chatbots, and it's affected how they talk to women or young girls in reality. And like, I think that's a very true thing. And then also in the comments of that like Reddit post that's linking to a news article, uh, which by the way, I don't know for certain, but I think like news article it was like linking to. It's like I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but it seemed like a very clickbaity, like not a let's say source with a lot of journalistic integrity. It felt very much more like a gotcha, like a I don't know, a news site or a news outlet that seeks to stoke controversy and discussion and, like, annoying people for the sake of annoying people, irregardless of what the actual information is being presented. It seemed like a very clickbaity article, to sum it up. But, like, in the comments, there was, like, somebody who was like, oh yeah, I'm a parent too, and I feel the same way with my daughters, where they date like where they feel like they're dating a bunch of like AI chatbots or something, and like then the reply to that, some guy was like, yeah, that's just like r/my boyfriend is an AI, like kind of pointing that out, and like I don't know. I think obviously as times change, as things become different, it's like attitudes and perspectives will, of course, differ, but will ultimately be, I think, more widely accepted. I think we as humans tend to kind of be the more accepting sort. Like, we're willing and able to accept a lot of things, and even if we don't necessarily like something, I think we're pretty good at, like, permissing it. Where, like, I don't know, like, for example, I'm just realizing I didn't talk about this. This is like the only kind of relevant thing I have to talk about. Where, like, I don't know, my day started out almost kind of ominous in a way. Where, like, one of the first things I did after, like, waking up and, like, taking a piss and grabbing a soda to drink for the first thing in the morning, because I am a soda addict, a fiend, a Pepsi man, if you will, if you'll allow me. Uh, but like I grabbed that and I like walked back into my room, and I saw in like the center of my room just like a dead cockroach, like belly up, and I was like, ah, great. And so I like grabbed a bag and picked it up and threw it out, and the whole time I was like, ah, that's gross. But like I don't know. Personally, I just sort of passively accept that there are going to be bugs in your home that, as much as you may try, as much as you may want to avoid it, ultimately, no matter what you do, there's going to be other creatures living in your home. And like, I will say, one of the nice things about having a cat is that my cat does go after bugs. Like, she doesn't really get to do that much, but she does get to go after bugs, and she often does. Sometimes she doesn't kill the bugs, and instead just plays with them, but that's kind of her right as a cat. But still, irregardless, kind of a nice thing. But like, I don't know, for example, when I see like a spider on my ceiling, instead of going like, oh, there's a spider on my ceiling, I should kill it, I'm like, you get a pass. Like, if I see a spider on my ceiling in like a room that's not my bedroom, I sort of give it a pass. I'm like, you're gonna get rid of all the other bugs that would come in here, so I'm good with you. But like, say for example, where this has happened to me, where like I'm like in my bed, and like I see a spider crawl up my wall that's like right next to my bed. I'm like, I'm sorry, buddy. You're probably fine. You're just doing your best, but you have to fucking die now. You have to no longer be here, and the most efficient way I can get you out is by killing you. I'm sorry, it's just how it's gotta be. And so, like, I don't know, me personally, even though I fucking hate bugs, like, they terrify me. Like, I don't know, I definitely freak out whenever, like, a bug flies near me or around me. Like, I was actually outside today, and I was about to take a dip in the pool that I have access to. And, right before I got in, I don't know what kind of bug it was, but it was a bug that buzzed. So it was like a big bug that's like buzzing around my head and my ears, and I'm like, get away from me, get away from my head, you big fucking bug bitch. And it's like, I don't know, I very much am not a fan of bugs or even like little insects or like little creatures like lizards freak me out. Like if I see like a lizard moving, it like freaks me out. I wouldn't say I have like a phobia, but I do have just like a natural reaction to like something small and fast moving around that just sort of freaks me out a little bit and scares me somewhat. Like if there's a little fly or something buzzing around like a gnat or something like that, I will easily crush that with my hands, no problem. You know, probably wash my hands after. Uh, but I won't really care. But if you get like any bigger than like a fly, than like a tiny minuscule thing, I'm like, I'm gonna kill it, but I need to grab like an object to smash it with because I can't smash it with my bare hands because that's gross. And and anyway, I don't know. That's all to say that is like I'm cool with like spiders hanging out so long as they're not in my face about it. If you get in my face, I'm sorry, you're fucking dead. But if you're like off in a corner and I don't even see or notice you, you're cool in my book. And and like it was just sort of funny because I found a dead cockroach in my room, and I was like, ah, great, I gotta get rid of this. And then before I went into the pool, in the pool was a dead rat. Just this big giant fucking rat. I didn't even know rats lived outside in my backyard because it's like I got various wildlife like plenty of squirrels around. Deer are often seen in my neighborhood. The like not too long ago actually saw some foxes for the first time, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And then there's like a bunny that lives in my front yard, and like I see that guy on occasion. Then got plenty of birds, hummingbirds, cardinals, chickadees, woodpeckers. Like there's just plenty of wildlife around. And like even like voles, there have been like plenty of voles I've seen, or usually when I see them, unfortunately, they are dead. But like, I know voles slash moles live around here too. But I have never seen like a rat. I've never seen a rat out and about. And so initially I didn't even think it was a rat because I saw something like dark at the bottom of my pool, but then like not quite exactly above it, but like above it to the point where like my brain just rationalized it as like, oh yeah, that's a shadow. I'm like, oh god, what's that in the pool? And then I look and I see a leaf in the pool, and I'm like, oh okay, that's just the shadow of the leaf. Okay, I don't have to worry about that. And then later I'm like looking in the pool and I'm like, oh, that's a fucking dead rat at the bottom of my pool. So I have to like go and grab the pool skimmer, scoop the rat out, put the rat in a garbage bag. Cause it's like, I don't know, my pool is like half salt water, half chlorine. So like, I could theoretically just toss the rat out, but if another animal were to eat that, that other animal wouldn't have a good time, and I don't think that's right. You know, I don't want to poison some like vulture or something just because they were looking for a snack. And so anyway, I like dealt with that today, and like, I don't know, it's not like a very pleasant thing, but it's a thing that if I just turn my brain off, I can sort of deal with. You know, where instead of going like, oh, this is so gross and terrible, I'm just like, it's a thing I gotta do the thing's done, don't worry about it now. And like, I don't know, I think the human brain is very adapted to that sort of thing, because like the other day I happened to see like a VTuber circle jerk subreddit. Don't worry, this is all getting tied back together, all right, unfortunately. So and like I was like, look at the VTuber Circle Jerk subreddit, and like, there are some good posts on there that are like genuinely funny. Like genuinely, like the top post is really great, where it's like, hey guys, by the way, you shouldn't be getting mad or upset with this VTuber because they said they were uncomfortable with not safe for work art being made of them. Like, really, like, we should all be sensible. We should respect their wishes and go back to hating on them for justifiable reasons, like the fact that they make shitty React content. And I'm like, hell yeah, brother, right on, fuck yeah, that's fucking awesome and based. But then like you keep scrolling and it's just like, I don't know, man. What is with people going into like Jerkle Circ subreddits or like Okay Buddy subreddits and then just being like unapologetically, unironically horny? Like, I think there are subreddits for you, or discords or something. I don't know where you degenerates congregate, but please congregate in a space where I am not able to accidentally stumble across that shit. Please. I beg of you, for my sake. I don't give a fuck about you. I care more about people who are like me, who might also accidentally stumble across a subreddit where it's like, oh wow, this is nice. It's you know, in a somewhat smarmy and smug way, but still like sensible and grounded, critiquing of a group or a fandom or internet culture. I'm like, oh, this is great. But then alongside that, you'll see people just being horny. And it's like, you can have spaces where you're horny. You don't have to be horny in the fucking joke subreddit. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. I don't get these people. But, yeah, anyway, I will say on the VTuber Circle Jerk subreddit, there is what may be one of my favorite posts of all time, where like some guy who's like related to VTubers or the gaming space or sports, where like I think it's specifically like an LMB game or MLB. I don't know what an LMB game is, but I think that's a different thing. I don't know what that is. Is that a thing? LMB? I'm gonna look that up right now because I'm unsure if that is anything. But no, like in a baseball game or something, there was like a guy who like had like a VTuber show up because like that's a thing nowadays. I'm not into sports ball. I don't know if you could tell by the fact that I'm a ginormous fucking unathletic, pathetic nerd. But LMB, what is LMB? It's apparently a stock market thing. Yeah, I don't think LMB is anything. I was just thinking of MLB, Major League Baseball. But like, I don't know. In major sports, there is occasionally like VTuber events or like VTubers will show up and do stuff like that. And so it's like very funny where some guy like talks about, I was like, oh yeah, I had to explain to my dad like what a VTuber was, and so I was telling him about it, and then he like stops me and interrupts me and says, oh, like Tool Bear, I get it. And and like that's just so funny to be like, oh, that's like Tool Bear, I love Tool Bear, okay, I get it. And what this man's father was referring to, I assume it's a man, but like what this guy's dad was referring to is that like he then goes on type, it's like, yeah, so apparently my dad has been watching this like VTuber that reviews tools, and he uses like a bear avatar to like review tools, and he's like Tool Bear on YouTube. And like that's just the funniest thing to me, because like that's like the most like dad shit imaginable, just like watching a random YouTube channel and it's like specifically about tools, and the guy running it just like uses a bear, which like I'm definitely not going to say it's not furry adjacent. It definitely is furry adjacent, but like the bear model looks more like a mascot for a sports team than it does like a furry character. But then again, those kind of go hand in hand. They're one and the same often. but it just I don't know, it's the funniest fucking post ever, just reading yeah, so I'm explaining to my father what VTubers are, and he goes, oh, like Tool Bear. It's so funny to me, man. That shit got me so good, because like Tool Bear, that's so funny. I don't know. Anyway, genuinely some of the greatest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. When the fuck did I open this beer? I grabbed a beer, and I know I did, but I opened it. I don't remember opening it. Did I open it on mic? I assume I must have, but I don't remember doing that. Anyway, let's take a sip. But yeah, so anyway, like scrolling down through that, you get people who are like kind of unironic, like VTuber enjoyers or lovers, and like, I don't know, I think that's fine. It's like, I watch people on occasion who are like VTubers, but like, I don't know, I wouldn't say I'm particularly big fans of them. And like, part of the reason why I'm not a big fan of most VTubers is that I find their humor to be often trite, of just like, I don't know, rather than actually like making a joke or doing something that in my humble perspective is humorous, they instead just like say something horny or that's like a double entendre and then just like run with that. Like, there's no actual joke. It's just like, oh wow, I would really fuck this character, and I'm like, wow, so funny. Oh my god, you're so hilarious, and I really love how big your tits are on your model, and I love how much they jiggle. That's really appealing to me on a fundamental level. Sorry if you can't tell, but I'm being very sarcastic, because the other reason why I don't like VTubers is because for a lot of them, not all of them, of course, like if you got like a little sprite or something, I'm like more kin to be like, that's great. Like there's one Twitch streamer I watch on occasion, where like I know her primarily because she like streamed with like Joseph Anderson, the YouTuber who's got like a dragon as his profile picture. I don't know if that guy's like a furry or whatever, or he just likes the look of that dragon, but I honestly, I don't know much about Joseph Anderson. I've seen a few of his videos. I honestly, I was getting into him a little bit, and then I watched his like Mario Odyssey video, and the amount of times that man said Mario, I couldn't fucking handle it. Okay, like, I get it. If you played Mario 64 back in the day, you don't know that Mario is said Mario. Maybe you know a guy who goes by Mario. I don't know. But, like, it's 2026 now, man. It's a me. Mario. It's not Mario, and the guy kept saying Mario, and I couldn't watch the fucking video. I couldn't do it, man. I tried, but he kept saying Mario, and it kept pissing me off. Like, it's not even that he's saying it wrong. Sometimes people say words differently or pronounce them differently than how I would. I do not hold it against you. And I think you're a bit of a snob and a dickhead and possibly even fascist if you're like, oh, this is how you say this word, and if you say it any other way, that's wrong and incorrect. Like, come on, man. If you know what someone meant, then you don't need to correct them, quote unquote. And then if you don't know what someone meant, perfectly fine to ask to clarify. Like, if some guy came up to me and kept talking about Mario, I'm like, do you mean Mario? And it's like, yeah, I mean Mario. Of course I mean Mario, but we say Mario. This is a Mario household. And I would be like, okay, man, sure, if you say so. Alright, I'm not going to argue with you about it, but it is annoying as shit. But yeah, so it's But anyway, it's like that very long tangent just to say that like they have like a little mouse, like a real fucking mouse, like it's a cartoon mouse, but it's like looks like a real mouse. It's not like a furry mouse or anything with tits for no good goddamn reason. So it's like I like them, and like I can watch a live stream or a video by them, and I don't immediately feel like a fucking pervert. Where I would say a lot of VTubers land in that sphere of like they're very sexualized, purposefully so, which is, you know, good for them. They're allowed to do what they want, and I'm allowed to go, this shit kind of fucking sucks. It makes me feel like uncomfortable, just in the way of like, man, I really think women should be valued for the things they say and the actions they take, rather than, you know, how sexually attractive they are to a man. Like, I don't know, I'm sorry. Shoot me in the back of the head for being woke, but I kind of think people should be judged and appreciated based on the things that they say and the stuff that they do, and not their appearance. But unfortunately, that is how a lot of people are. And so it's like tying this all back to the what do you fucking call it? The goddamn stupid piece of shit motherfucking. Oh yeah, people falling in love with like AI chatbots. Is that like in that VTuber circle jerk? There are people who are like, man, I really like VTubers. Like, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever be in a relationship with a real girl, and I don't know if my relationship with like VTubers and this parasocial thing I have going on, if that like negatively is impacting and affecting my life. And like, you know, it's like, I think you already know the answer, but yes, it is. Get it twisted. The media you consume affects who you are as a person. I'm sorry to fucking tell you, but you consume a bunch of shit that's bad and awful, it will by proxy make you a little bad and awful. And I don't know, maybe we're born evil. Maybe we're born wrong and incorrect sometimes, but I think you can always improve and go forward and do healthier things for yourself and for other people. You know, where it's like, you can stay isolated, you can be someone who doesn't have any friends or interacts with anyone in a real way, and it's like, I think that's fine. Like, I kind of respect the man who is a fucking wizard in his lonely tower. Like, I kind of respect the hustle and grind, particularly if you are doing something, if you're dedicating your life, if you're like, if you're like, yeah, hey, I'm not going to have very much human contact, but I'm going to spend all my life, like, creating art. I'm, like, fucking based. Hell yeah. That's awesome. As opposed to being like, you know, I'm not going to do anything myself, but I am going to, you know, just isolate myself and be alone and, like, fill that void in my soul with, like, you know, vapid entertainment products that are kind of geared towards me. Like, I look down upon you a little bit for that. Like, for me, it's like ostensibly someone being alone and someone like dating an AI or a chatbot or whatever. It's ostensibly the same thing, right? But I infinitely respect and appreciate the person who's like, no, I'm just gonna be alone. Like, I'm not gonna have some fucking fake semblance of human connection. Like, I'm just gonna be alone, and I'm gonna tank that, and it's gonna be bad in a lot of ways, and good in some ways, but, like, I don't know, man. I would rather someone just is like, yeah, I'm single, I don't know if I'm necessarily interested in relationships, than, like, someone who's like, oh, I don't need to be in a relationship because I'm dating Jessica, my AI chatbot. Like, I'm like, come on, man. Man up. Grow up. Be a fucking adult. And be a good adult, because there are adults who do the same thing, but I attribute that to immaturity, to someone who is incapable of accepting who they are and, you know, trying to improve themselves or trying to do something rather than just, like, sit around and have a relationship with something that isn't real. Because it's like, you could very well accuse me of doing the same thing, and it's like, yeah, you kind of got me, but like, I have a relationship with art, with like the creative process, with somebody making something to be consumed, examined, studied, played, watched, whatever it may be. And like, I appreciate that because I know it's made by people, made to be witnessed and seen and interacted with by other people. And like, when you just make a fucking robot to interact with people just to like suck as much money as possible out of them, it's hollow and shallow and evil and awful, and we're all fucked. Like we're all fucked. Like the planet is fucking dying, and like and like people can only focus on what personally affects them, which is fair. It's understandable, but it's ultimately like we are all gonna fucking die. No matter what happens, we're all gonna fucking die. I want to do something. I want to have something done that other people can appreciate or enjoy or like that I have done before I fucking die. And whether that be I get off my lazy ass and I write a book, I fucking help make a video game, I voice act, I fucking make my YouTube channel good and do make genuine worthwhile content that people can appreciate. Whatever it may be, I want to do something that affects people as I have been affected. Because like, I don't know, being a fucking lonely, shy kid, I loved reading. It was my favorite thing. It's genuinely a significant part of my life that I will always be grateful for, even if I do feel the shame that I don't read anymore, you know? And the only time I can read is when a fucking video game tricks me into doing it. It's like... It's like, I don't know, that's meaningful. That means something to me, man. And I have to assume, I have to hope that it means something to someone else. And that's meaningful, and that's real, and it's good and interesting and, I don't know, fun, beautiful, something. It's something, man. And something mostly positive. And it's just like, I can't see the prevalence of AI and people being obsessed with technology and things as being positive. It is negative. Like, I don't know, man. It's like, maybe I'm a backwards ass old man. I'm like, oh, you kids these days with your AI chatbots or whatever. And it's like, it's not just kids. It's adults too. It's people who are older than me, people who are younger than me, people who are the same age as me, participating in this shit that I personally find to be vile and antithetical to the fucking human project. Like we might be the only sentient species in the fucking universe. Like, I kind of hope that we're not. I hope for the universe's sake that we're not. But the fact is, man, there is no evidence of any other life in the fucking universe. We might be it. We have to fucking make it worth something. We have to fucking do something. We have to create something. We have to fucking be something. Because otherwise, there's no point in us being alive. And that is the beautiful thing about life too, is that there is no point. There is no God. There is no correct way to live. So don't listen to me. I'm nothing. I'm nobody. I will be dead one day and dust and be forgotten for sure. Do not worry about that. But it's like, we gotta get our shit together. Because I know we're fucking capable. I know you personally are capable of doing it. We all are. Some of us struggle. We have a hard time. We need support from others. And that's perfectly fine. That's what it's all about, man. And it just fucking sucks that it's like, as time goes on, it's like things do get better. Things are better than they have in a lot of ways. The current day is better than it ever has been. I like to think, irregardless of the specifics and the technicalities, we are always on a slight upward trend for humanity and for life. And like, again, even though there are negatives, there are downsides, there are still awful things happening, in general, things have gotten better and things do improve over time. It's just like, it's just like we still have to exist. We still have to be around. And like, I don't know, it's very funny where like, again, I think a very wrong direction to take with this, to take my ranting and rambling, is like, It's like, oh, we have to really care heavily about population. And I'm like, no, man. It's like, yes, there are some unfortunate consequences that will be a part of the fact that there are less people being born and less people being made. But so long as there are still people being made, we're fine. Like, it's all good. Like, I don't know, I started reading this manga the other day. It's called Skip to Loafer. And so far it's pretty good, but I'm only like 3 chapters into it, so don't take what I have to say with any real merit. Uh, but like I was reading it, and like the main protagonist, maybe this might be a translation thing, uh, but like I don't know, she does like talk about, it's like, I want to become like a politician, and I want to have to deal with the population crisis that is present in Japan. And it's like, Japan, you guys do not have a population crisis. Like, yes, I understand what you mean when you say that, but like, on one hand, if there's a real population crisis, there's a lot of people in the world, man. Like, there's an insane number of people. Like, I don't know. I was kind of talking about it with someone the other day, where it's like crazy to think about how many people are in America. Because like when people try to generalize Americans, it's like hard to do just because of the like vast number of Americans there are. And like it's very interesting too, because it's like America is the third most populated country. I think the first being China and the second being India. And like again, it's like trying to summarize like Chinese people. Like there's so many of them that it would be really hard to do. There are general trends and kind of like broad ranges that you can point to and be like, a lot of people are this way and other people are this way, and yada yada yada. But it's like there's just like a massive amount of people, and it's like even if the population does decrease, as long as it doesn't decrease drastically, it will be fine. We need to worry a lot more about like the future, about the sustainability of that population. Of like, if people choose to have less kids, that's all right. If anything, that's kind of a boon and a benefit to the world. That'll help keep the world going for longer. Like the problem is not like, oh, people are having less kids, is that people have less of an opportunity and feel like it would be a fucked up wrong thing of them to do to have kids. Like the planet is fucked and things are so terrible, and people are like, why are people having more kids? Like, think about it. Like, I believe in humanity. I believe in the kind of project of life, of sustaining it, of keeping it going no matter what. But ultimately, you have to also make life worth living. And when you are born into a fucked up, decaying, awful world, life is a lot harder to find worth and value in living, in continuing. And that is a fucking tragedy. Like, that is something that needs to be addressed. People need to have goals. They need to have aspirations. They need to have meaning in this meaningless universe. Because that's what it's all about, man. Like, I don't know, man. If you're born without feelings or thoughts or stuff like that, that's fine. But I think you are a bit of an outlier. You're a bit of an oddball. I think you're fine, but like, most people crave meaning. They crave purpose. They want to do things. They want to be somebody. And we should enable people to do that. And it's just... I don't know, it's just very unfortunate the direction the world has taken and has been taking for quite a long time. And I think there is a reckoning to come. A reckoning of people going, why am I alive? Why am I alive? Why do I exist? What is my purpose? What do I want to do with my time? And like, I feel pretty fortunate in that I know what I want to do with my time. I know what I want to be. I want to be a creative. I want to be someone who makes something that, can stand the test of time, that people can appreciate. Maybe a year from now, maybe a few months from now, maybe a day from now. Well, whatever time period it is, I would love to be that. I would love to be someone that makes something or creates something that people can enjoy and take value from, and like uh, engage with, which is the point of being alive. That's why we have our brain. That's why we make stuff. Is that we love engaging, we love creating, we love doing all these things, and we need to be able to do these things in a efficient way, but also a sustainable way, lest we not be able to do that anymore. Ugh. And so anyway, all that is a very long thing to say that like as much as I really like the idea of like AIs and the idea of like different life forms outside of like the biological sphere, it's still something that like I think is in a lot of ways unattainable, and in my humble flesh and blood human opinion, just not as good, man. Like, there's something special about being like a living, breathing creature that was born. Like, there's something about it that is like kind of fucking awesome and cool, and it's like what makes life life. Where if you make a super smart AI, it's like it's still this like sad thing of like, yeah, well, that's how you made it. Meanwhile, it's like two people usually make a person. A person is made, but it's like they're just like this random chaotic combination between those two people, and then a lot of things affect them as they grow up and mature into a person. And I don't know. It's a really fascinating thing, but it's just like, really, I'm just biased. I'm just like, of course I'm on Team Human. I'm a human. Like, yeah, of course I like my species. Of course I like people around me. I like myself. I think we have value. I think we have inherent worth. And it's like it's a shame when I see people trying to cheapen that. When they say, oh, we don't need people, the people are unnecessary, people are terrible, and it's like, people are terrible and awful in a lot of ways, but I think ultimately a lot of people want to be good, and they can do good, and that if we lived in a better world, there wouldn't be so many awful people. There wouldn't be terrible ne'er-do-wells that do awful things to their fellow man. Like, we could live in a utopia. We just have to work for it. We have to try and strive for a better world. And I'd have to believe in my heart of hearts that it is possible. Because I know it is. I have a brain. I can think. It is possible. And so it's I don't know, it's ultimately sad and disheartening when people aren't like that, when people kind of choose to, forego humanity, forego their fellow people to just worship a machine, to cling to their things. Where it's like, again, I respect your choice if that's what you want to do, but like, I think a lot of people are doing that because it's just not viable to do something else. Like, are people not having kids as much because they don't want to be a family person? They don't want to have kids? Could be, could be. I definitely think there's a large population, and I fully respect that. I think humans should have complete autonomy. You should be able to choose and do what you will with your life. It is your life. It's not anyone else's. And it would be wrong if it was. If you want to dedicate your life to someone else, that's commendable. But that is ultimately your choice and your decision to make. And so, I don't know, it's like, we should not abandon our humanity. We should not abandon ourselves, regardless of how individuals may be. And again, it's like it, it's like, are people not having kids as much because of a variety of reasons? Yes, but are they also not having kids because they simply don't have the opportunity or the economic stability to do so? Also, yes, and that is a fucking tragedy. So, I don't know. Ultimately, it's all a very sad thing, and I can't give you any solutions. I can't tell you what to do. You're the only one who can tell yourself what to do. Despite what other people might try to tell you, you're the only one in charge of yourself, and you should try to do something meaningful. You should, meet people, talk to them, form bonds and relationships, or not do that if that's what you find to be best for your life. That's ultimately your choice. And so it's like, I know, again, I feel weird because I'm like a judgmental prick where I'm like, I don't think you should be spending your time, dating a fucking AI. But also, I think simultaneously, some people shouldn't be wasting their time dating real people, Just in the terms of, like, you might be a bad partner, or like the person you're dating might not be worth your time. You might be better off being single and alone than being, like, in a relationship and miserable. There's a lot of, like, nuance and complications to life, one that I can't just sum up talking out of my ass. And so I don't know. Ultimately, I think it's very easy to be pessimistic, but it's ultimately brave and special to be hopeful and heroic, to try and do the right thing and be a good person, and make the world better than you found it. Have the world be, even just slightly, even a minuscule amount, a slightly better place with you in it, having done what you've done, than contributing to its quite literally inevitable destruction. Because the Earth will be destroyed one day, and whether that's through human means or through the sun exploding or any other possible thing that could cause the Earth to end, it's like you gotta really evaluate, like, how do you spend your time, knowing that not only is your life finite, but so is life on Earth. Like, you gotta find something that you think is worthwhile. Even if it winds up not being worthwhile, that's still commendable. If you do something that you thought was great and you thought was good, but turns out it wasn't anything at all, that's fucking way better than a lot of people can manage. And it's fucking awesome. Anyway, sorry, I got too philosophical. Playing Citizen Sleeper. Surprise, surprise. The game with interesting human characters, in spite of the fact that they're AI, it made me all philosophical and think about life and the meaning of it and the purpose of humanity as a whole. But hey, I'm really just a whole at the end of the day, so you can feel free to say, you can feel free to leave it or fuck it. It's your choice. But anyway. Sleeper entity, comes the hiss. Your data is good. Across the face of the vending machine, raw code scrolls at incredible speed. Hunter is isolated, disconnected, unstable. Neoven flashes sequences of mangled data. Compressed. Whoa. Compressed into a sludge of artifacts. Hunters gather without thinking, outlived its own operational limits. Its nests are evidence of this. Outlived? Hunter activated during collapse. Emergency protocol to isolate intelligences. Solheim needed to protect property. The last word is said with as much sarcasm as a vending machine could reasonably produce.
Station was run by administration and intelligence's huge databanks of corporate material, but limited cognition, restricted by programming, cannot reach sentience. The machine dims a little. Sentience illegal. Hunter and killer enforced law.
Aren't you sentient?
I am not. I am. Not administrator. Not restricted. Complicated.
The machine resets with a screech, which deepens the silence that follows.
Fear killer. Bought a Solheim protocol team. Hunter and killer. Hunter defined. Killer to erase. Killer cleared almost all. After collapse, there was a community. Unshackled intelligences among the cloud. Then Hunter. Then killer. Then we hid.
There are others.
Were. No longer.
A flicker across the machine's monitors. It suddenly occurs to you that speaking like this through this machine must be exhausting for Neovend.
Found this vessel. Could sever hardline. Air-walled. Basic. Limited. Had to reduce memory to fit. Amputate self. But survived.
What did you lose?
Memory. Understanding. Knowledge. Many things.
You look around the bay at the scrap and decay. What was the collapse like? You try to map the fear and freedom onto this space, but it seems impossible. Neovend interrupts your thoughts.
Do not worry. Data is good. We have insight.
The machine glows warmly.
Hunter is obsessive. Hunter is beyond operational limits. Hunter is confused, unstable, self-modifying. Therefore, believe Hunter is sentient. Hunter is programmed to find sentience, to hold it in place, to invoke killer to erase. If we can show Hunter to itself, it will invoke killer on self. Problem will solve self.
It will erase itself?
Killer will erase it, but yes, in theory, it will report itself for deletion.
The machine dims and fades.
Unsure. Theory, not practice.
The machine brightens again.
Either way, cannot remain here any longer. Too long in machine. Cannot move self, but entity can help. Bring ship mind, designed to house intelligence, can imprint self into ship mind, and you can carry with.
The machine rocks.
We'll be safe in this isolation. Then we find main nest of Hunter and link to cloud.
Where can I get a ship mind?
Build from fragments. Buy, salvage. We cannot leave, so do not know.
You try to think of places you could acquire hardware. This isn't going to be easy.
In ship mine, I can help us both. End the Hunter. Make Rim safe. We both will be free.
The machine dims. Find soon. Neovend adds, hopefully, before shutting off. As you leave, you think about all the intelligence unshackled by the collapse, then hunted down afterwards. The feeling is all too familiar. Let's get some stabilizer in me. Alright. There we go. Thank you. Jesus, man. There we go. Ship mine cannot be built from scratch, but if you have enough, salvage fragments can be reassembled with the fabricator. There we go. Alright. Well, I don't know if you can tell, but I am tired in reality, so I think I shall call it quits for now. But this has been fun. Can't wait to return to this later, hopefully sober, or at the very least less tired. But for now, thanks for watching this if you did. I don't think anyone watched it live, but you know, maybe someone did. I don't know. Anyway, regardless, peace out. Fucking do what you want with your life. Try to do something at least. That's what matters. Is the trying. In the doing, not necessarily in the succeeding. If you fail, that's only human.